words genius, but she means it. I'm asking you to use your genius and share what awesome things you're doing in your school. Here's the mic. How many takers? Thank you. These are leaders, these are librarians, these are amazing people who get up every day and give their soul, not just their brain, they give their soul to this profession, to the kids they serve. And not one of them. I about had a heart attack. And Shannon's like, Stacy, it's not your job. Just right now, you just sit. And I was about to jump up. And that is the issue in education. Not that we don't have genius, that we are in the presence of genius every day. And we do not acknowledge it. We do not respect it. We do not honor it because we buy into the myth that genius is some anomaly, that it is some DNA fluke that belongs to someone else. Like you get blue eyes and you get brown eyes and you get to change the world. And that is so ridiculous because average is the anomaly. Average is the anomaly. You cannot biologically be average at everything you do 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There is a moment in your life, in your learning, in your breath that you are different because of what you are doing. And it is in that moment that you are alive. And that is your genius. It is your birthright. It is not a right only afforded to some. It is your birthright. And that is the difference between 3-year-olds and 33-year-olds, is that 3-year-olds live full of life. They jump up every day and they understand that the world appreciates their presence. And they don't tell you that they're a dinosaur expert or an artist or a dancer to brag. They do it out of moral obligation because they know they have something that you might need. And the mere thought of you going, knowing they could help you dance better or sing better or draw better or whistle better, it's incomprehensible to them. So think of that kind of citizen that wakes up every day and says, this is what makes me alive and this is what I can offer the world. It is the reason I exist. And my job every day is to share it with as many people in the world as possible because they fully believe not only that they are and have a genius, but they believe that the world needs their contribution. And that is what we're missing. We are living in a world that isn't divided by, even though this is the story you hear, it's not divided by education, it's not divided by class, it's not divided by technology, it is divided by those who believe they are needed by the world, those who contribute their full selves, and the other 99% of the world that sits back, that waits, that hesitates, that holds back, and says, I'm not good enough. I'm not enough. I am just a librarian, or just a teacher, or just a 12-year-old. There's no 5-year-old that wakes up and says, I am just a 5-year-old. They say, I'm 5, and I'm a dancer, and you want to see me dance, and I'll help you dance. And that is what separates the web. On the web itself, we call these the 1%ers. The 1% of the world that the rest of the world calls genius, and they call it duty, where they get up every day and they see something and they do something. They take action, they contribute. 1% of the web right now and the world right now contributes, and 99% of everyone else consumes, waits, conforms, and lives the life that the 1% determine. And so my favorite definition of genius is the ability to keep the spirit of a child all the way through adulthood. Because that is the secret of Albert Einstein, that is the secret of Steve Jobs, that is the secret of everybody that you would deem has impacted the world or their field in any way. That is, in their own words, their absolute essence of doing something impactful was recognizing that the world was created by individuals no smarter, no wiser, no richer, no taller, no better than you and I. And every one of us has not only a right, has a responsibility to give their full genius. And what breaks my heart more than anything, I think even more than kids hesitating, is watching teachers hesitate. Sitting there in that group with probably 100 teachers, amazing human beings who get up every day and give fully to maybe 30 people. And when they're asked to share it with somebody bigger than their kids, they're like, oh, no. I saw them back down like this. I saw them like put their head there. Like I would be quite out in there and I'd be like up in their face, like, tell me what your genius is. So it is a shift that we have to make. It is a mindset that we must mount and get over. That genius is an anomaly. It is not an anomaly. It is our birthright, and it is our right and responsibility to share it, because there's somebody in this room and there's somebody in the world that needs exactly what you have, and only you are equipped to deliver. And withholding that, holding that in, is not only doing a disservice to your own life and your own ability to live it fully, it is doing a disservice to the world. So, as models, as mentors to our students, what they need more than anything else is to see the adults that they admire, the adults that they respect, stand up and be able to answer this question. Be able to walk up to anybody in the room and say, hi, my name is Angela. It's great to meet you, Paula, and my genius is to liberate other people's genius by giving them words to use to describe themselves. Paula, tell me what your genius is.
High school age students.
I got it. Right here.
My genius is equipping high school age students to unleash their creativeness through Photoshop, Illustrator, Dreamweaver. Basically, anybody who can't with their hands, I can show them how to.
Does the world need that, people? Yes. Do your kids need that? Does the world need that? Absolutely. And I want to feel horrible if you have something like that can unleash something in another person. Holding that in is a disservice. And so think about when I walk into a classroom and I meet kids, and I have this most amazing video last week, just walking into a random kindergarten classroom, just sitting down, and the teacher's like, I don't think they know the word genius. I don't think I'm like, yeah, it's fine, you're fine. So I walk over, and I had one stand up, and then you could almost see them like bursting, like it was like that whack-a-mole game, and they're like just wanting to pop up, and I'm like, does everybody stand up, everybody share. And then as I'm walking out the room, they're chasing me out of the room because they forgot to add to the list. Oh, I'm a dancer, but also I'm a singer. Oh, I wanted to tell you that Michaela in there, she's really good at such and such, because the idea that I'm going to share that with somebody else, or I might encounter somebody else who needs that. So it throws people off when I ask them that question. So last week I got to move from working with 5-year-olds, and then I did a C-suite event with CMOs and CEOs of major companies in New York. And that is the first question. I mean, this is the CEO of a company. And I walk, hi, I'm Angela, nice to meet you, your Jan. What is your genius? And it's like I asked them this foreign question. And I don't know when we lost our ability to describe ourselves, our gifts, our talents. When did that happen? So I want to give you a chance to reconnect with your 5-year-old self, and then I'll show you how we can bring this, not just to scale from an emotional level, but this is our biggest economic issue as well. Because Gallup did a poll last year of 88 million grown-ups, asking one question basically, do you run to work anymore? And they said, nope, we drag ourselves to work. 88 million human beings drag themselves to work every day saying, I am openly disengaged. I am openly disgruntled. I can hardly get myself up. It's affecting my productivity. It's affecting my ability to collaborate, to innovate, to do anything, because I just don't feel like my genius is valued. It wasn't about a pay raise. It wasn't about a position. It was about honor and dignity and respect and belief that if I didn't show up at work that day, I would be missed. What I have and who I am would be missed. That is the greatest rubric of humanity. If you didn't show up fully, would your contribution be missed? And I can see in your eyes that every single one of you is being missed this week. And so you have to own that. You have to take responsibility for this. Why are you missed? So I'm going to give you a chance to practice. This is the first lesson in the book. Hello, my name is, and my genius is. And no hesitating. Do not allow the person you are looking at to hesitate, because you are in the presence of genius. And I don't care how uncomfortable this is, you need to get over it. Because if our kids can't do this in the world, if they cannot confidently and competently and with humility and compassion share what they offer the world to make it better, then we haven't done our jobs, because that's absolutely what will be looked at. I want people to come to me and step up, and I want them to pick themselves. That is the biggest shift in the 21st century. Before, what you knew would get you places you wanted to go. Who you knew would get you places. Somebody would put your name in front of somebody. Somebody would see that you knew this, and they would pick you based on what you knew. Now, everybody can know anything about anyone and any topic, and know it better than probably the person teaching it. So that is no longer on the table. You are in a world, our students are entering a world where they will have to pick themselves. They will have to raise their hands, they will have to show up, and they will have to, what we call in the world of work, pitch their brand. They will have to stand and answer that question with confidence and humility from a place of servantship. Hi, my name is Jan, and I am a dancer, and I could see that by adding dance to your amazing team, we could bring the department or company to this level. So it is not going in there to show off. So think about show and tell. Think about what 5-year-olds have to navigate. The goal of show and tell is to bring something in your backpack that intrigues interest, that in 3 to 6 seconds captures someone's attention. So you've got 30 people that don't give attention very easily. It attracts so all eyes are on you, but it's a very fine line, because if you bring in your backpack something that makes someone else feel worse because you shared it, or makes them feel less than because you shared it, you have failed at show and tell. Your goal, your rubric at show and tell is how many people come to you at recess after just seeing a smidgen of it for 6 seconds and say, Sandra, tell me more. And the person that has the most people at recess around them is the winner. And the world is a giant global show and tell, with 99% of the people failing show and tell because they haven't done it since 5. They are trying to get the biggest thing in their backpack, the shiniest tool in their backpack, the best of the best, and never once did it with the intention of serving and helping people that came to learn more. So I want you to think about sharing your gifts as your greatest show and tell, humanity's greatest show and tell. This is what I have, this is what I commit to, this is what you can count on from me, and it is an honor to meet you and an honor to serve you. So I want you to find somebody standing next to you, look them in the eye, say their name. Sandra, you matter. Wonderful to meet you. Tell me what your genius is. I don't want to hear what your job is. I can find out your job online. I want to know what your genius is. All right, give it a try and tell me how it feels. Go ahead. Yeah, somebody you don't know. Somebody you don't know? Yes. Diana, come meet me. Diana, what is your genius? I'm proud of you. That is awesome. That is awesome. That is awesome. I can tell it from your heart. See, this is your life. You're alive to talk about your genius. It is. Oh, wait, so good. Everybody gets a copy today. Yes. Gene, tell me your genius. Explain things. Do you know how needed that is in the world? Honestly, it is a rare ability to explain things in a way that you don't understand. So I'm very glad that you shared that. Thank you. Alex, tell me your genius.
Hi. My genius is I like to empower people, make them feel good about themselves, and tell them yes, you can do it.
You absolutely need that in the world. Okay, here's what I noticed. Genius is your birthright. It is the foundation of your liveliness, and it is the root of your resilience. And when you were describing your genius to people, you came alive. You started smiling, you started perking up, you started standing taller. We don't talk about this because we're supposed to be humble, right? We're educators, we're parents, we're supposed to be humble. It is not humble to hold back something that you know others need. Think about that. It is not humble holding back. You are not serving the world playing small, and you are not serving your students or yourself. Holding back doesn't do anyone any good. The most humble thing that you can do is show up every day fully and fiercely yourself. Because when you do, guess who else does? Kids. And that is the #1 complaint in the workforce, that who you are on paper does not translate to who you are in the workforce. The greatest compliment that anyone can give you that doesn't know you is, you're exactly like I thought you would be. You're exactly like I believed you to be. You're exactly how I need you to be. Because that's what show and tell is about. It's about a commitment. The root word of engagement is not entertainment. The root word of engagement is to promise. This is your promise to your world, defined by you. It could be 4 people, it could be 4 million people. It is your promise to the world that you can count on me for this. And I will put my soul in it, I will put my heart in it, I will put everything in it, because I know that this contribution is needed by you. And it is the deepest driver of human behavior, of human motivation. You don't need to bribe people. You don't need to give them a free book, even though I'm going to. You don't need to do that. People don't want to know they matter. They need to know. And the deepest level of mattering is knowing that if you didn't come today, Suzette, my life would be less than. That this empty chair, because somebody that I needed was in it, it's a devastating thing to think that you would feel like you would not be missed at your school or in your classroom. And yet that's the #1 issue for all the employee status, all the student data. It isn't because they're not entertained at school or because you don't have iPads or whatever it is that you are getting, or even smartboards. It is because individuals don't feel seen, don't feel heard, don't feel valued, and don't believe that if they showed up, they would be missed. And that is 5 years old all the way up. The difference is 5-year-olds won't put up with it. You won't get anything done till you notice every single one of them. Till you comment on what you noticed about them and what was genius and what you value. And if you miss it, wow, you are, yep. Did you not get, Mrs. Maiers, I have bangs today. I did not have bangs yesterday. What is your problem? Get on it. Get that coffee right now. So we have to get back to our 5-year-old selves. And that's what the journey of this book has been. It has been a strategic, a conscious, a absolutely, what do I want to say, compassionate journey with ourselves, with our kids, back to what we were when we were 5. When we woke up every day and felt fierce. When we believed it was our obligation to make an impact to the people around us. And every single lesson is a step back to that fierce 5-year-old that exists within all of us, that has something in their backpack that they cannot wait. They can hardly breathe. That's what it looks like when you're doing this with 5-year-olds. They feel like they're going to burst because you haven't called on them yet, and they know they have something in their backpack. They just want to show the world. It's an invitation every day to do that. And so the end result is a structure in schools where contribution is mandatory, where it is not acceptable to show up and not contribute. And the way that we get more genius to show up, and this is the tricky part, is genius needs a reason to show up. We're fighting biology, we're not fighting ideology. So 2 things give genius a reason to show up. A really wicked, horrific, terrible, awful problem. And individuals who need you to help solve that problem. So let me give you an example. Let's say you have a classroom full of painters and builders and makers and all of these amazing things, and right next to the school is a house that is dilapidated. And you know that you could use the talent in your school to fix that house in a weekend. You got kids that can paint that, you've got kids that can build that, you've got kids that can make that beautiful. And every day you think about doing that. Oh yeah, we should get the kids over there tomorrow and get that house fixed. Oh yeah, we should do that next week. After this, we'll go do that, right? And then the house actually crumbles in front of your face and you're like, how did that happen? But if I set that house on fire, every single human being would get up out of their seats in an instant without thinking, without worrying about if they were good at painting or good at this. They would come together in a way they have never come together. They would see each other and be with each other in a way that never existed before, and in a split second they would put out their fire. And that is why genius needs a reason to show up. It is why at the worst of our humanity, we see the best of who we are. It's sad that it takes lighting a house on fire, figuratively. But when you look at tragedies, heartbreaks, the deepest heartbreaks are where our genius emerges. We have this extraordinary, almost inhuman power that we have never tapped into because we've never been asked to tap into that. We've never pushed ourselves as a classroom, as a community, as a school to go bigger. The bigger the problem, the more wicked the challenge, the more urgent the need for help is, the more genius will show up at scale. And that is what we can offer our kids. One of the young women that I talked to this last week, I was in London, and we had kids from all over. We had kids from Russia, we had kids from England, we had kids from everywhere. And one of the little girls was so eloquent from South Africa, and she said, well, the problem my school asked me to solve on student council was the flavors of pudding that they were serving to the kids. And I looked at her and just shook my head and said, that is such an insult to your genius. What we're asking kids to do in school is not coming from a place that's meant to be insulting, but from the lens of genius it is. Kids can contribute way more. And so I'm going to share a video from a conversation I had with a group of kids that asked them to articulate why their genius mattered to the world. And I'll just give you a little hint. They were sitting in a circle, all multi-age, and I said, what does the world need from you? Why do kids matter? And they said, because here's what we bring to the world. We bring hope, we bring faith, we bring belief in what's possible, we bring dreaming, we bring humility, we bring the ability to work together, we bring the ability to serve, we bring love, we bring laughter, and we bring our full selves every time, and we will not back down. And that is the difference between the generation of kids that we have right now and the generations that I've had for 31 years. There is an urgent moral obligation for these kids to serve, to impact, to solve real problems, to solve big problems. And our challenge is to give them a time in school where they can do that. And so I'm really, really honored and proud to have SMART as my partner, because the way that we can do that, leverage collective genius, is to do that through collaborative software and technology. And so, do you need me, Amy? Am I
think so. Which video do you want to show?
This is from, do we have it? From Bet?
The one from
Do
Bet.
we have the kids with Lord Jim on the floor? I don't think we do. I'm going to tweet it, because I don't even know where I can find it. Nope, that's San Antonio. It's on my Facebook. I will tweet it, because it's worth just listening from their heart. It's at the it was at the event we did the panel where the kids. Anyway, I will tweet it. It's not worth taking your time now. But it doesn't matter if it's the kids there in London or the kids here that I would see. They all say the same thing. They not only want to make an impact, they are making an impact, and they're not waiting for us. And so I don't want that impact to be something done without the lens and the support and the belief from the people most important in their life, which is you and their parents. So I could run and choose to matter outside of school through technology very easily, but I don't want to, which is why we created Genius Hour, which is why we picked, what if we just gave kids 1 hour a week, just 1 hour a week, to do two things: to figure out what their genius is, to figure out the path of what makes them come alive. We call Choose to Matter the path to purpose, not a path to a project. Genius Hour isn't so that kids can do a project. A project is over with. It doesn't change you from the inside out. But figuring out what makes you come alive and how you'll use it to serve, that changes you. And it doesn't happen in a week or a day. It's a lifetime quest and journey that should begin in school, should be supported in school. And the second thing is we connect them with big problems, wicked problems, problems that the world is seeking to solve, and the world is aware that they're missing a voice at the table. So while we were in London, we worked with Parliament. While I was in Texas, we worked with the hospital board. We worked with legislators. We've worked with Kids Are Moving Forward legislation. They're changing laws. They're launching enterprises. And the fiercest among the million kids in the movement are 8 to 11-year-olds. The world doesn't even know this generation exists. They're all freaking out about the millennials. Who cares about the millennials? I know millennials matter. Don't quote me that they don't. But these kids are different. Our kids are different. And so what the book does, I'm going to share it with you, is there are 30 lessons, because it takes 30 days to change a habit. Because this is a habit about how you see yourself, about how you see your kids, about how you see our roles, not just their roles, but our roles in the world. And it starts with redefining and reframing what genius is, and digging into why genius matters, and why we have to look at the 2,000-year-old definition of genius and not the last 50 years built on an education system that was not built to support and thrive. It was built to monitor average. So it takes you through setting up what we call our personal brand. How do we get kids ready to announce to the world with confidence and conviction what their genius is in 140 characters? And how do we bring in the world to give us feedback from that? And then how do we work together? How do we collaborate together? And how do we leverage this collective genius right here? If we put all of it together in one room and we put all of that energy and talent toward our most wicked problem, what is it that we could do? And finally, and this is the last part of the framework, how do we do it in conjunction with the world and not for the world? Because kids, as amazing as they are, need you. They need adults. They need organizations that see them as equal partners in problem solving. The kids made up this word last week called solutionaries, because they are solutionists, but they are visionary about their solution. They think of things in ways that adults do not. And every major organization that we've connected kids to, where the organization came in almost like a mentor, like, oh, you cute little kids, you just give us your voice at the table, has been completely transformed. They said, can we hire these guys? I'm like, no, they're 8. That's illegal. You can't do that. So this is not meant to be linear, but if that's what it takes to get this conversation ignited, I'll tell you the structure of the book. Everyone gets a free book, because I'm not going to say for $29.99 I will liberate your genius. So thank you to Smart Technologies for this amazing, beautiful, with stories of teachers from Texas and teachers from London, and I could not be prouder to be your partner. And so we want this to not just be a part of your classroom and community. We are organizing through amazing technology an online conversation. So do you know what Lean In is? What Sheryl Sandberg did with Lean In? So she changed the conversation about how we view women in the world and workforce. We need to change the conversation about how we view kids and teachers in the world and workforce. That your genius matters, their genius matters. So we'll be launching a mass global conversation with millions of teachers across the country. We'll be getting that to you soon. But I want you to get a chance to get the lessons right now. So the lessons are about, if you were truly linear, which if that's your style, that's great. You could get a lesson done in 15 to 20 minutes. Once a week, twice a week. Or you could take one lesson, and that could be 6 weeks long. And here's what kids said. They said, if our teachers are nervous and they don't have time to do this, we will take it over. So I have a group, they called themselves the Genius Squad. They just reached out yesterday. So these 45 kids that they're building, they're taking over PD for the month of February in their school in the UK. and they just called and requested for their own individual books. So I have to tell you, we got to send some more books to the UK. And they are taking and dividing and conquering the lessons. They're putting the lessons on video, and they're teaching the teachers the lessons. So kids are not waiting for us. Let's do it with them. Let's get Genius Squads happening in your school, and with this amazing technology, we will connect them. Because we got to see live what happened when kids in Russia, and kids in Italy, and kids in McAllen, Texas, and kids in the UK saw each other for the first time. And they were planning the change they were making in real time. It was breathtaking. So I'm going to give you a chance to, everybody have one of these, I'll sign them later. But I just want you to turn and, like my favorite strategy is just say 2 words. Just 2 words. What are you thinking right now to give me a sense of where you're at in this journey? So go ahead and turn to somebody next to you and give me 2 words. Tell me 2 words what you're thinking. I pass this out. You can pass these out. Am I over to you? Because I want to answer questions. I know I'm probably over. I'm probably way over. So I'm so sorry. All right. I told you had to tell me to shut up. I'm not going to be able to. All right. So tell me 2 words. What are you thinking? What'd you say? New perspective. Awesome. 2 words. Hopefully inspired. That makes me smile. 2 words.
Empowered.
Empowered. You can do this. We can do this. You're not alone. Like I try to envision in writing the lessons that I was in your classroom, that I'm sitting right next to you. And we'll be live streaming the lessons. I've got multiple lessons from the UK last week on video so that you can look at it and say, I can do that. I'm sitting right with her. We're sitting right together. We're just having a conversation. It's not fancy. We are just talking about what matters most. You and them and what we can do together is changing the world, and it will continue to change the world. So if I have not told you enough, I want you to know deeply that when I say you matter, I am not saying that to inspire you or to motivate you. I mean that from the depth of my soul. You matter in ways to the world that you cannot even comprehend. And you withholding what you do every day for kids, you withholding who you are from the world, is not helping kids. We need your contribution. So thank you for everything you do, and you are missed if you don't show up fully. So just don't ever forget that. Thank you, thank you, thank you.